Okay, I was just going to say, obviously he's ahead of me. Thank you. Call to order the meeting, regular meeting of the Norwalk WPCA for Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. Before we get started, I just want to apologize for last month's meeting. We came out of executive session and adjourned without going back into Zoom, and we left the secretary and the IT guy hanging. So apologies for that. We won't do that again. We won't do it again. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes for a WPCA meeting held on January 19th, 2021?
So moved.
By Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Any comments, questions, corrections? No?
Nope.
I did look through it on my phone and found a few minor typos, and now I got to work and got the hard copy, didn't have a chance to review it. So there's nothing that somebody wouldn't understand. So anybody else, any comments, questions, corrections? Okay.
None.
All in favor, say aye. Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Okay, so we got Flynn, Igneri, Clark, and who else?
Keegan, aye.
Keegan.
Who?
Tom Keegan.
Keegan, Tom Keegan.
Yeah, he's here.
Thank you.
John.
How are you, Tom?
And me. So that's 5. Is there anybody else here besides us 5 on the board?
Not that I can see.
No. So it's Flynn, Igneri, Clark, Keegan, and me. Right?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
Thank you. Next, 3, scheduled public hearing proposed FY 21-22 sewer user rate for March 15, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. Draft notice enclosed. Is there a motion to approve scheduling the public hearing?
So moved.
By Mr. Igneri, is there comments from staff?
Mr.
Ralph?
Chairman and
Mr. Carr?
and board members, I hope everyone's doing well. But yes, we have our recommendation for this year's proposed increase is to keep the sewer use fee flat, a 0% increase. Prior years, I know, have historically been 2%. Even sometimes, Ralph, correct me if I'm wrong, down to 1% at times as well.
Right.
But given the fiscal constraints with COVID-19 and the proposed tax increases throughout the citywide for proposed fiscal year 22, I have had discussions with the mayor specifically about this topic, and he's in full support and also recommends the 0% increase as well for the sewer fee for proposed fiscal year 22. And based on our current fiscal status and the operating cost, have spoken with Ralph, and we definitely feel that that's a reasonable rate to keep it flat for at least this year. And we could speculate how future years will be to come, but we feel that it's fair and equitable to the residents of Norwalk to keep the sewer use fee at 0% increase for this year.
We have done 0 before. It was motion. It was a while ago.
I'd like to make that motion that we keep it flat.
Okay.
Well, right now,
Okay, when I look at this draft legal notice, the only thing that I noticed that's different is the fee is being waived for industrial pretreatment. Is that correct?
That was the other thing I was going to bring up. So for industrial users and mostly food restaurants that come into the program, we're asking to waive the registration fee as well this year. It's only about $5,000, maybe to $10,000 a year in revenue that we collect. But that $200 waiver goes a long way, especially to the smaller food establishments that are just trying to get started, especially through this tough times with the pandemic.
Okay, so if it wasn't for that, we could skip the whole thing, right?
I don't think you can ever skip it, because even if we have a 0% rate increase, we still got to, the board has to approve it. We got to have a public hearing on it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. You have to adopt the increase or the or in this case, it'd be a no change, but still a change from what the current rate is. So it would have to be approved, Mr. Chairman, by the board, and then published, obviously, for public hearing. And just to also piggyback on Ralph's point about the IPP registration, we thought it was prudent to waive those fees, but we wanted the fees for the enforcement and the compliance to still pertain, because, to be honest, compliance is important, right? It shouldn't be punitive, but you're always trying to work with each institution or each entity to achieve a corrective action, and ultimately that's compliance, right? So we do feel that at least having the fee there for the non-compliance will incentivize applicants and existing entities to remain compliant or close to compliance, right? So we definitely think that it would be a detriment to lower those fees as well. So I think the happy medium there is we would waive the registration fees, but the enforcement non-compliance fees would still be intact.
Very good.
But right now, we're just voting on the public hearing.
Yeah. And it was Mr. Igneri, you made the motion to schedule a public hearing?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments from anybody? No? We're ready to call the question. If you don't mind, I'll call you off because you all say aye at once. I have no idea. All in favor, Flynn?
Aye.
Igneri?
Aye.
Clark?
Yeah, aye.
Keegan?
Yes.
And Darren's an aye as well. That passes unanimously. Item number 4, authorize a transfer replacement reserve account to other contractual services in the amount of $850,000 to be used for the sanitary sewer improvement project, WPCA 2018-2. Is there a motion to authorize the transfer?
So moved.
By Mr. Igneri. Comments from staff, explanation, presentation?
Yes. So items 4 and 5 go together. 4 obviously is to transfer money, and then item 5 is to issue orders in the amount of $850,000 to be used for the sanitary sewer improvements project with Green Mountain Pipeline Services. Just give a little background. We do have item 5, a proposal. It's dated 2/2/2020 from Green Mountain Pipeline Services in the board package. The proposal is for RFP 16 Smith Street lining. So we have a 36-inch reinforced concrete pipe from 1929 on Smith Street, that, from Wall Street down to Moody's Lane. Head of the Harbor is right now working with the city to enter into an agreement that we don't excavate or do any excavation repairs on that pipeline for the time being, because the DEP is going to put a land use restriction on the property because of some contamination. Because of that, we reached out to Green Mountain to get lining pricing in order to rehabilitate our pipe, and that way we don't have to do anything in over the next 50 years. The proposal is for $527,000 from Green Mountain, which I've been working with Jacobs Engineering and Green Mountain just to verify everything. We asked for a more detailed breakdown of the bypass cost because it is somewhat expensive in the amount of $135,000 as part of that 527. We're still trying to negotiate with Green Mountain, but this is pretty much their price to do that work. It's about 1,400 feet of 36-inch pipe lining. In addition to, and the reason why we're asking for $850,000, we've identified some additional work down in the Shady Beach area. Actually, the Suez team, with the use of smart covers and CCTV data of infiltration and asbestos cement pipe that's starting to fail. We've asked for a proposal on that as well. We do have some defined pricing for that, but we haven't, Green Mountain hasn't finalized their proposal yet, but we anticipate it in the range of $150,000 to $200,000. So what the $850,000 does, it covers both those projects plus any additional work as we get closer to closure with Green Mountain on a $5 million lining project.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Very clear.
Okay, so if I could just pause for 1 second. Bovee and Camacho are trying to get on. It looks like Chris Torrey is helping them. Is Chris with us?
I am with you and I am trying.
Oh, thanks. Should we pause or just keep going?
Keep going because George is going to hop on in like 2 minutes also.
Okay, so Terranites is going to join us as well. All right. No other questions on item 4? Igneri made the motion. I'll read it off. All in favor, Flynn?
Aye.
Igneri?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Keegan?
Aye.
And I also say aye. That passes unanimously. Item number 5, authorize the Chief Operation Public Works issue orders on the contract to Green Mountain. It seems like we have an explanation already for this. Is there a motion to authorize the Chief of Operations to issue orders?
I'll
So
make
moved.
that motion.
Mr.
Yes.
Flynn. Mr. Flynn makes the motion. Is there any further explanation from staff or presentation from staff? No. Are there any questions from the board? No. Okay, I'll do it again. Flynn,
Aye.
Igneri,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Keegan,
Yes.
and I also say aye. Now, we did have a motion there, right? That was
I made the motion.
Mr. Flynn. Thank you. All right. Number 6. We're done with the business portion. We're into the reporting section. So is Suez with us?
Yes. Good evening.
Wait. John, just hold on just 1 second. Hey, Larry, do you think you could send John Bovee that link again?
Yes, I can. Let me see if I can find him. Also, sorry to interrupt, guys. I just logged
He's
on.
having trouble getting in.
Ed Camacho's having trouble getting in too, Colleen and Larry.
Okay, Ed Camacho, I have ecamlaw@gmail. And John Bovee, I have looks like HN Bovee at bovielawct.com, if that's the correct.
I just have John Bovee at bovielaw.com.
Oh, John.
bovielawct.com.
Yeah, I don't have that. Let me.
JOHNBOVE at bovelawct.com. Hope it's okay to put that out in the public like that.
Yeah, it is now.
We're all amongst friends,
All right.
maybe.
So I resent those invites.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I was having problems logging on also, but I'm here. George Cernides.
Welcome aboard.
All right, George. Let me know if Ed still can't get on.
John Bovee's on.
See John?
And we're looking for Camacho, right?
Apologies.
All right. Welcome aboard, Mr. Bovee. Are we going to wait for Camacho?
I think we should continue.
Okay. Well, we picked up 2 more. So sorry, guys, you missed the business section. We are in the report section now. And Suez was about to give their report, item number 6. So please proceed, John.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is John Morrison from Suez. Good evening, everybody. I'll give you a quick report. January was a busy month, but we did have continued restrictions from COVID-19. At the end of the month, though, we were able to transition back to our severity level 2, which means we are now back on full regular shifts for our staffs, which gets our full complement of workers here to get back going, which is great. Remaining social distancing and disinfection procedures in place. We are continuing to minimize visitors and subcontractors and outside staff, but so far so good. We were in compliance with all our contract limits in the month of January. We were, as I mentioned, limited, particularly in our collection system obligations. We were on split shifts, and 2 of our 4-member collection system team were actually positive COVID cases or in quarantine in January. So we're really down to about a quarter of our crew. But nonetheless, we were able to complete about 0.35 miles of sewer cleaning, and about 0.59 miles of TV inspection. And we also did about 0.63 miles of SL rat work. So they were able to make some progress. We also had a sewer collapse on Charles Street that we worked on with the city staff and AJ Penna on January 3rd and 4th. We were able to get that repaired. I'm happy to report that the mechanical installation of the centrifuge was completed in January. The unit's operational now. It's been running since about the 3rd week of January, and it's running well, and we're producing about 26% cake solids with that. I didn't know if possibly I could share my screen for one moment here. I did have a small video I wanted to show. Is that possible, the city IT person?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Go.
Okay, am I clear to go here? Okay, I'm gonna see if you all can see that. So, okay, so what you're looking at is the leveling conveyor. This is the 3rd conveyor that loads the top of the trailer truck. And you can see in the video.
What is that, sludge?
That is sludge, and although that might not be exciting to a lot of you, it's very exciting to us because it's good, dry sludge cake, and the machine has been performing very well. We've been able to put more sludge in a single truck because our weights are lower, and I know our operational staff is very happy as well. So good progress on that. We'll continue to share any field developments as we find them. Okay, I think I'm going to unshake.
Thanks. That is exciting.
That was well done, that demonstration. Well done.
Does it smell?
It actually doesn't. I think the smell is improved because the cake is drier. It's not as wet. But the odor control systems, when they go into place, it will smell substantially better. And hopefully that building will be a non-issue for the future. So we're excited about that too.
Thank you.
IPP program was on hold in January. However, we have resumed industrial pretreatment inspections starting in February. So our inspector's been out there every week, and we should be able to report some good progress for the month of February. And lastly, we continue to receive septage from Stamford as they continue their construction activities at their treatment plant. As I mentioned, the plant was in compliance with all permit limits in January. Nitrogen performance for January was 514 pounds, which is a pretty good number for January. So that will start our calendar year average at 514 pounds.
Hey, John, let me just say that was an all-time best for January.
Really? Wow.
That nitrogen number.
You can thank Matt and his team too. Those guys have been very diligent at keeping an eye on the process, and a lot of preparation going into the cold weather. We knew January and February were always the toughest months here, and so far so good, but we're always striving for a lower number. So thanks for that, though. It's good to know. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, that's about it for the activities for the month. We did provide you with some graphs. We have brought our GIS tech on board. So we have a young lady who's going to be assisting us with the GIS mapping, and we were able to provide you some maps in your executive summary this month, which hopefully give you a good visual view of the progress that we're making in the collection system. That's all I have, unless anyone has any questions.
Questions? Thank you very much, Mr. Marcin.
Okay.
Ralph, number 7, I guess.
Yep, I'm just going to follow up on the maps that Suez provided to us, and we included in the board package. The first map is a summary of cleaning activities for the month of January 2021 is in one color, and then cleaning for this contract year is in a different color. So what we're trying to do is to present cleaning, TVing, SL rat on that basis. On each map, you'll see that we have one color for the month that we just completed, and then a different color for what's been accomplished during the contract year. So like I said, the first map is Norwalk cleaning, then we have CCTV inspection and SL rat. So if anybody has any questions on any of the maps, let us know. But we're trying to make it user-friendly.
Cool.
All right, so item 7A is our typical fiscal year 2021 Munis report, including the board package. Not much to point out. I mean, we're tracking what we anticipated. There is one revenue account that had an issue. That was account 452C, industrial pretreatment. It looks like we have only minus 107% in revenue, and there was an error, and finance was able to resolve it on Friday. So going forward, you won't see that incorrect number or that account. It's been rectified. Next item, 7B, including the board package, is the draft fiscal year 21-22 capital budget request. This was presented last month, and the WPCA's board staff is requesting $1 million for both collections and pump station monies. And currently that's going through the city process. The next item is our draft operating budget for 21-22. This is still in draft. Please keep in mind there's some numbers that we're working with finance to, it's more the interdepartment billing between WPCA and the city of Norwalk that we need to refine, but it is a work in progress. But overall, we're looking at just above about $19.6 million operating budget.
How does that compare with previous years?
Last year was about 19 million.
Thank you.
And that's on there as well. What was approved in 2021, and then the projected actual once we finish the fiscal year, and then the proposed. The budget does include the assumption that there is no rate increase for sewer use fees for fiscal year 21-22. The other thing finance is working on is sending out the invoice for Wilton, the sewer use fee for the town of Wilton. So that should be going out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Once that does, I'll have a final number to project that against. Right now, I have a placeholder at 600,000. Any questions?
No.
All right. I'll move to item 7C, discussion on WPCA projects. First one, collection, sanitary sewer system rehab, various locations. I did include in the board package 4 pages. The first, it's the cover sheet of the project drawings. And basically anything that's striped down in red or red highlight is completed. Yellow means partial. And if it hasn't been highlighted, it still needs to be completed. We're about 85% of the work completed. Then pages 2, 3, and 4 is just a summary of mostly proposals or change order work that we added to the project. we're a good 85% complete. The last 2-3 weeks, because of all the winter weather, Green Mountain hasn't done much in the city. Prior to that, they had a crew dedicated to cleaning and TV and doing the pre-measurements for the lining work. That information is critical to obtain, and then that's provided to their supplier. They fabricate the liners, and then they come down on a refrigerated truck, because they have a epoxy already impregnated into the liner, and then they'll go ahead and they can install those liners. But obviously, we try to work around all the winter weather, especially if some of these lines require bypass pumping. We don't want to interfere with DPW crews as they do winter activities. So hopefully we get a break in the weather, and Green Mountain can get some work done. Next item is pump station 5 Mile, Old Trolleyway, Karen Drive, and Woodward Avenue rehab. That project just went out to bid and is advertised on the city's website. We have a mandatory pre-bid meeting via Zoom teleconference on February 23rd, and bids are due in March. So we're excited on that project. I apologize, I did not have a chance to get the advertisement, including the board package, but we do have it posted to the city's purchasing website, and we're hoping that we get numerous contractors to bid on this. The next item, item 4, pump stations, Keeler Brook and Force Main rehabilitation or replacement project. We continue to work with Eversource. Actually, we had a call today, the city, Anthony, myself, we had a call with Vero Law because we had just gotten a draft agreement from Eversource for a new easement on their property. And there's conditions that we need to continue to negotiate with them on. So there's going to be quite a bit of back and forth. Darren Callahan, the city's legal office, is assisting. We've already gone through the Common Council process. They've approved to allow the mayor to sign any and all easements necessary for the new pump station. This coming Thursday, I will be participating or attending the Zoning Board of Appeals to request a variance for the construction of the new pump station, because where it's zoned, it's a 2-story building minimum requirement. However, our pump station, due to the high tension power lines above, we can only have a 1-story building. So that's the request that we put in to the ZBA. So that's this Thursday.
You had to go for an appeal because the building is smaller than what the zone allows.
That is correct.
Thanks.
Item 5, wastewater treatment plant SCADA upgrade phase 3. And that is the mobile screens, mobile communication for SCADA, monitoring only, and also enhanced security. The Suez team and myself had a good workshop with Aaron Associates and Arcadis about a week ago to give them direction on what we're looking for. And we're just waiting now to get some draft screens, the feedback back to us. So we're moving ahead with that project. Any questions on any of those projects? All right. Item D, sewer use bill appeals and adjustments to date is $24,577. It's been quiet, even though the second round of billing has gone out. I think we've only received 1 or 2 phone calls just questioning the parcel sewer use fee. There's been no adjustments. So overall, $25,000 on like 18 million. We're doing pretty good. The next item for information copies, we have a letter including the board package from Vero Law to the Connecticut DEP. And this was based on the public hearing process and some of the comments that we need to, or the questions that were asked, we had to respond. So this is for information only. This is a public document, and our responses to some of the comments that were issued to the state during this process. We are going to have an executive session next to continue to discuss that process in more detail.
Okay, are there any questions on anything in this meeting so far, or anything not in this meeting that you would like to cover in an open meeting? Anybody have any questions or anything to say? Anything that they'd like to add? Okay, before I ask for a motion, we're going to go into executive session. That's a separate link. Does everybody have the link? I guess
Yes.
is the first question. And I guess the second question, being not so technically savvy, I'm going to have to close this link. Is that correct?
Yeah, you would get out of this session, go to your email, click on the link in the other session. It may take, as soon as I close out this meeting, I'm gonna click and open the meeting. So if you click on it and it doesn't open right away, it'll be less than 30 seconds. The other meeting will open. Once we're all in the other meeting, I will get out of the meeting and make someone the host so that I can leave and you could go on with your executive session.
Okay. I guess everybody understands that. I understood it. Is there a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved. John
Okay,
Bowlby.
Mr. Ignari's face popped up, so we'll give it to him. And let's see.
Can I have that link for executive session sent to me one more time? This is Matt Todaro. I'm not sure that I have that.
Larry, can you send it to me also?
George and Matt. Okay, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
With
All right.
regards to the motion to enter into executive session, Mr. Flynn,
Agreed.
Mr. Ignari,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Keegan. Mr. Keegan? Mr. Keegan, you with us?
Yeah.
Thumbs up. He said yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, Mr. Bovee,
Yes.
Mr. Terranites,
Yes.
is Mr. Camacho with us? No. Okay, so that's unanimous. We'll say goodbye to Mr. Marcin and the other folks, and try and come back to adjourn.
Hey, good night, guys.
Yes, remember to come back to this meeting after executive session.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Darren, we had talked about executive session, no action taken.
Oh, thank you very much. No motions made, no action taken. Executive session began at 6:04 and went to 6:30. It's now 6:35 and we're back in the public realm and adjourning the meeting. So, Flynn, Mr. Flynn. You not with us?
He's silent. He's muted.
I can read the lips. He said motion to adjourn.
Okay, I'll keep.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, Mr. Flynn made the motion to adjourn. All in favor, Mr. Flynn?
Aye.
Mr. Ignari?
Yes.
Mr. Clark? Mr. Clark?
His sound is off.
We lost Lou.
He's there, but he can't.
He's muted.
Muted.
Somebody see him raise his hand.
He did. I saw it.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bovee?
Yes.
Mr. Terranites?
Yes.
Mr. Rostafine? Yes. We're adjourned. Thanks very much. I guess we'll see you at the public hearing, March 15th, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.